Is it in? Hey, it's Gothy, and this is going to be my belated February book haul. It's a bit later than I had planned to do it because I copped a viral infection. And then that on top of a heap of tape assessments and then sound wave and a couple of side waves, I've had a very busy week. So for February, I bought 30 books, which sounds like a lot, but considering I think there's only one book that I paid more than $5 for, I'm completely okay with that number. So to start with, I got from my local QBD bookstore Born of Empire for Simon Brown for $1. It's a fantasy series. I'm not too sure about most of the details of it. I've never heard of it before, but for $1 I thought take a risk anyway. And I got The Haunted by Jessica Verde, which was $5. And it wasn't until I got it home that I realised it's part of a series. So I hunted down the first and the third book, both of which I paid $4.80 for from the UK. I got those from a site called Awesome Books. So here's the first book in the series. It's The Hollow. It was $4.80 and it's secondhand. It has some spine creasing and a couple of the pages on the inside were a bit bent over, but other than that it's in great condition. Also from Awesome Books I got Sea Glass by Maria Snyder. I got a fairy tale cross-stitch book. I got a paperback copy of Blackwood Farm because all of my Anne Rice collection is paperback and it's all this size. But the copy of Blackwood Farm that I had was this giant ass hardcover and it really bugged me. So now I have the nice little paperback one to add to my collection. And I'm going to try and swap this. I'm going to put a link in the description to my Goodreads to swap book list. And if there's anything that's interesting to you and you maybe have something that I might be interested in, message me and we'll talk about it because I would like to swap some books. I also got this copy of Blood Canticle. It's also secondhand. It's an ex-library prison library edition. The only thing with Awesome Books is it doesn't tell you the exact details of the books. So I saw the cover and thought, hey, that fits my Anne Rice collection better than my current edition of Blood Canticle. But it doesn't because it's tall. And like I said, all my ones are short. So I'm going to be swapping this one too, hopefully. So many books. I also got this really nifty Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. I don't actually know how to pronounce that properly, but he's one of my favourite authors, so I jumped on the chance when I saw this for $3. I got the third book, the third Jessica Verde book, which is The Hidden. I'm not too happy with this edition, again, because Awesome Books don't put an accurate description of what the book is like. It's kind of gambling. So if I decide that I like this series, I might try and find a new copy and replace this, but for now it's fine. I got this copy of Stormglass, which has a giant freaking sticker on it, which I'm going to try and get off later, because it's not an easy peel. And I got Inkspell by Cornelia Funk, which, again, kind of pissed because the Ink Heart and Ink Death copies that I have are both paperback, and they're both tall. This one's a short one, so this is a problem. Now, other books that I got, I have to reach over my bed. I picked up Beautiful Chaos from one of my local op shops for $3. And I picked up After by Claire Tristan, which is an erotica thriller kind of book, and I got that for $1 off eBay. I picked up a what looks like it's a fairy tale retelling by Holly Black called Valiant, and I got this for $1 at Sam's Warehouse. It's like a bargain store that we have in Australia, and there's a whole chain of them, and they're actually pretty awesome. And I got now this month for March, I'm doing a Pick It For Me reading challenge in one of the groups on Goodreads that I'm in. So one of the young adult groups. So the person I got partnered with picked 4 books for me to read. 2 of those I already had. One of those is Fallen by Lauren Kate. I'm reading Teardrop by her at the moment, and I'm not really getting into this. I don't know whether it's her writing style or whether it's the story itself, so I hope that I really get into Fallen because I have all 4 books in the series now. But there'll be Fallen by Lauren Kate, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which I picked up, which I bought technically in January, but it didn't arrive until February, and I got that from the Book Depository, so free shipping. She also picked Pure by Juliana Baggett. I got that from Booktopia, and from Booktopia I also got Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick, which is the 4th book that she picked for me to read. And Booktopia had the hardcover second book for the series for $3, so I grabbed that too. And again, if I like the series and I decide to keep them, I'll pick either hardcover or paperback and collect them promptly. But for the sake of reading them, it doesn't really matter too much. I also, in February, bit of dust on there, I won In Strange Worlds by Brenda Cheers, and it's an advanced reading copy, and it came with this, it came with a little letter to say, congratulations, you've won this, and thank you for taking an interest. So the only thing that's really different from this and the copy that is now available for sale is the cover. I haven't started reading this yet, but I am looking forward to reading it. It sounds really cool. It's about a girl who ends up being the only person left alive. And it's, I guess it's a dystopian kind of thing, but it sounds really interesting, and I will hopefully read it soon. Hopefully. Now, the other book places I've visited is one of my favourite bookstores in all of Sydney, and it's Basement Books. It's it's technically underneath, next to Central Station, and I love going in there whenever I go into the city because you never know what you're going to find. Like, they get a lot of overstock from other bookstores, and they get damaged stock, and everything is really cheap. So I got a lot of books from there this month because I went to the city twice. So to start with, I got Cressley Cole's Dark Needs at Night's Edge for $2. And I think I've actually read this one already, but didn't have a copy. And it's it's like a paranormal love story between a phantom girl and a werewolf. And it was really unique. I thought it was really unique. The idea of a phantom and a werewolf copulating, I guess. So there is some erotica to this, but it's a pretty good book. I would recommend it. I picked up, and this is the only book that I paid more than $5 for, and it's the War of the Ancients World of Warcraft archive. I already have the other World of Warcraft archive, So I wanted to pick this one up instead of picking up the 3 individual books. And that was $10, and it's brand new. Basement books, they usually just put a text mark on somewhere on the outside pages, but it's no huge deal. I pick up a lot of random books from basement books, usually because they're cheap and they look interesting. So I picked up Tertius by G.P. Taylor. This was $1 and it's a hardcover, so why not? Turns out this is part of a series, so I need to get the other books from the series because it doesn't seem like something that you can read as a standalone. I picked up Glow by Amy Kathleen Ryan. This one was also $1, and these books you can usually buy on the Basement Books website as well. They do ship around Australia. I don't know about international, but they have plenty of copies of these for $1, so why not? I got Seeker by William Nicholson, which is book 1 in the Noble Warriors trilogy, and it's some sort of fantasy thing, and I don't know, it was 50 cents and the cover is shiny, so that's got my attention. I got this one, which is like a dystopia vampire world. It's Department 19, The Rising by Will Hill. This was $2 and it is a chunky book, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, so it's something about Dracula and like a dystopia, end of the world apocalypse with vampires. Again, it's not something that I've heard of, I just saw it and looked interesting and it was cheap. Again, with this one, Slaves of the Mastery by William Nicholson. It's about slavery, I think it's a fantasy. This is in the young adult section as well, so I'd assume it's a fairly easy read. And it was $1. I got... Now this book is part 3 of the series, so I can't read it yet, but this has been a series that has always caught my eye, and I've just never gotten around to actually picking it up and reading it. So this was $2, so I thought, why not? I picked up Passion from the Fallen series by Lauren Kate for $2. And this one is The Changeling, and it's... I can't tell if that's a P or a D, but it's K.D. Lathar. And this was actually $2, and it's got this really nifty fold-out cover. So it's kind of like a shapeshifter changeling type thing, and it was wrapped in plastic, and I didn't really realise why, and it's because this side is all gold glitter. Unfortunately, the glitter comes off, so now I have glitter all over my room. I'm not happy with this because glitter is the herpes of arts and craft. But it seems really interesting. It was again in the young adult section, and he's got to come across the king of the changelings, and it's like the struggle between staying human and animal, which I've found really interesting because usually the idea of a changeling is the whole kind of fairy child being replaced with the human child, and I don't know, it seems like it's going to be different. I picked up The Bloodkeeper by Tessa Gratton, and this was $5. It's a very large paperback, and it's a magic witchcraft kind of fantasy, and it sounds really interesting. There's like a love interest and everything in this too, and I don't think it's a series, but the author does have another book which seems like it's in the same kind of strain, called Blood Magic, so I'm going to try and hunt that down as well. And I got, finally, White Tiger, which is book 1 in the Dark Heavens trilogy by Kylie Chan. This was $4. It's a hardcover. It's the 15th anniversary for the I don't know, for the publisher. Sorry, yeah, publisher. A little V and 15 on the side here. And what's really cool is it has its own bookmark. I love these, except for when they start to get frayed and stuff because my cat decides they're fun. But yeah, this was $4. And Booktopia has this as well in the hardcover for $3.40. So if you're interested in a really nice cover of it, like in a really nice copy, I'd recommend checking out either Basement Books or Booktopia. Now, overall in February I read 10 books. Now some of them I've returned because they were library books. So I read the graphic novel Recorded Zombie Attacks by Max Brooks that goes alongside his World War Z and his Zombie Survival Guide, which I still have to read. Bookshelf. I read another Batman graphic novel, and then I read Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill, which is like a horror thriller type of thing, based off, it's about a retired goth musician and his ex-girlfriend kills herself, and the sister, I believe, decides that as revenge, she's going to sell this guy a box with a suit in it, and the suit is the ghost of the girl's father, who is seeking revenge. And there's more twists to it than that, and this was a really good read. It was really quick to get through, and this is my little paperback copy. I got this for like $3 off eBay, so I was pretty happy. I reread 1984 by George Orwell. I read this when I was a kid, and I didn't really remember much of it, so I decided I'd pick it up and reread it. And because it was a reread, I'm not counting it on my Goodreads challenge, just because I had already read it and I got through it pretty quick because I remembered sections, so I flew through those parts. I read He Died with a Falafel in His Hand, and this is by John Birmingham. He's an Australian author, and this is about Australian share houses and some stories from share houses. On the back it says not recommended for landlords, and reading it I completely understand why. It's really good. It has these little extra sections, like here, for actual people who've written in and given a little story about their own experiences. Again, a really good read, really quick. He has another couple books that I'm going to hunt down. I'm still a little sick, so I apologise. I also read An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. I thought it was really cute. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I read Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and I really liked that. I'm very much into retelling, revamping fairy tales, so if you can think of any books that you think I might enjoy along that strain, recommend them. I read Bloodstone by Gillian Phillip, which is the sequel to Firebrand, and it's a really interesting series. It's fantasy, and I picked Firebrand up randomly at the library, and when I saw that Bloodstone had not long ago been released, checked my library for it, they had it, so I read that as well. I read The Unbecoming of Mara Dwyer. I don't yet have an opinion of what I think of this series. I'm kinda, at the end of this, I've been left with a few questions, and I don't want to judge the series before I find out what's actually going on, so I'm going to try and get a hold of the second book before I judge it. I also read The Rumpelgeist by Fiona McIntosh. Okay, so my video is getting a bit long, and apparently my camera has a 20-minute limit. So, I started reading The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I'm still only 50 pages in. I'm having a really hard time getting into it. Like, it's just, I don't know whether it's the length, I don't know whether it's the writing style, but I just can't sit and read it. I'm gonna keep trying though. I borrowed this off a friend, so there's no, I don't have to have it back to the library or anything. My plans for reading for March are the four books that I mentioned before for the Pick It For Me challenge. I have Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld, which is a really nice copy actually. I think I want to buy these in the hardcover because it's really nice. I have The Iron King by Julie Kagawa, I'm not too sure. These are all library books as well. I have Enthralled by Melissa Marr and Kelly Armstrong. And this is, these are short stories by a whole variant of authors. So, there we go. I have Legend by Marie Lu. And I have Scarlet by Marissa Marr. Those are the only ones I have from the library at the moment. For March, I'm going to try and get through as many books as I can that are actually already on my shelf, because I have a collection now of 330 odd books, and most of those are unread. So I really need to stop buying books and not reading them. And the reason is just because I not long ago moved to this new area, and my local library is awesome. So I keep getting distracted with books all over the place. Now, I apologise for this video being so long. As I said, this is a lot later than I had planned to do this because I got sick and I had a heap of TAFE assessments and stuff. I'm going to say now, annotated bibliographies are the worst. I'm not looking forward to doing a giant annotated bibliography. I just had to do a small one and it drove me up the wall. So this is going to be a lot longer, but hopefully you guys watch it and get through to the end, because right at the end we have a cross-stitch sneak peek. This is a project that I'm doing for a friend of mine who's really awesome. She does a lot of things for a lot of people, and I wanted to make her something special. And I'm not going to say what it actually is because she may watch this. So you have a nondescript thing with a rainbow, and that's all you're going to get. Now, again, I'm going to link down below my books to swap list on Goodreads. I'm really hoping to find some people to swap with because I'd really like to get some new books, and maybe someone will be interested in books that I have. I'm actually going to be getting rid of my entire Sookie Stackhouse book collection because I've read them and I really enjoyed them, but the likelihood of me rereading them is slim to nil because it's not a series that I can see myself reading more than once. So yeah, hit me up for swaps. Swaps are awesome. I'm also going to be starting to do the top 5 Wednesday videos, and because I'm in Australia, my Wednesday is most booktubers' Tuesday, so mine's going to come out before all yours because hi from the future. And I'm looking forward to doing that, especially now that I'm not as sick. I'm still a little congested, a little coughy, but other than that, I'm okay. And I will see you then. Bye!